Okay, well, I think it's time to get started. Let me introduce myself. My name's John. I'm Dark Viking. I'm working on Iron, and it's been quite a while since I've done any streaming, so please forgive me if I pause and uh, try to gather my thoughts. It's not often that I try to narrate while I'm working, but please follow along. I'll look for you, any kind of chat going on. So anyway, let me just describe briefly what we've got going on here. Iron is a new text editor, and you can see it has 3D functionality. It kind of goes with my background in computer graphics and doing video game development. I used to work at LucasArts as a lead programmer. It's quite a while ago now. Um, and we're just getting very, very close to getting our beta out. Let me stop the snow here, and should be the middle of next month is our plan. And in preparation for the beta, um, there are some things that are just under development and some experiments that we're trying and things that just aren't quite ready for prime time. And one of those is the pane configuration. We have multi-pane editing going on. I can show you here. Um, and I'm going to turn off the old magnifying glass here. And reduce some of our font size here so we can get back on the screen. But anyway, there are some options that aren't ready for prime time, and I'm going to turn them off. And in this case, here's an example of a functionality that we're not ready to release yet. This is the build system that Iron has, and it's very Makefile-like, and it works well for me, well enough, but we're not going to put that out. So this green screen, we're going to disable this 5-pane configuration here. And since we're not going to be releasing the build system here in the beta, we don't need this blue window here, which is the debug pane. This is debugs from the last build. So this option won't be sticking around. And then also we're going to disable the build pane itself. And this is the output from the compiler. So where to start? Let me just show you some of the other pane configurations that there are. This is the one I use most common, and it's kind of a what I call a 2/3 configuration. So I'll be in a multi-pane environment where I've got 2 monitors, and this larger pane here on the left will be in my left monitor, and these half-size panes will be on half of my second monitor. So I'm kind of spread out. If I double click here, you can't see the other panes on the right. They've moved off the screen. You can see some of the animation there. Exploding pipes. Our temporary theme is, our opening theme anyway, is kind of steampunk in orientation. A lot more coming with our 3D stuff. Some of the other configurations, we got 3 panes and 4 panes, and one of the things we don't have implemented yet is our window docking system. So we can't individually change, grab a pane and move it around or resize it just yet. So we're just going to have a set number of configurations, and I just want to reduce that, and that's what we're going to get into. So let me go back to what I'm most used to using. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up, I haven't really looked ahead so much, so you're going to have to kind of suffer around with me as I search around for things and try to figure out exactly where everything's located. There's quite a bit of software associated with Iron, and then also quite a bit more that we've been experimenting with, and I haven't worked with the pane system in quite a long time, so bear with me. This red pane right here, by the way, is the command palette, and it's just pretty simple. It's how we load files. So where am I going to? What am I going to load? Iron. I'm going to take a look at the key map. So this is how all the key maps, all the keys are configured. So we can see here, these are the waypoints or bookmarks. They're all kind of tailored to the F2. And if I come down here further, see the caret movement, up, down, left, right, paging up, paging down. Selections, multi-select key mappings, more editing. And here we go. This is the section we're looking for. Of interest to anyone who's watching or will be watching this is Iron is written in a language that I wrote about 15 years ago, and it's called slang. And so I've been into developing grammars of various types and trying things out. And this file is the keymap file, and it's in what I call a Zinc format. Zinc is kind of a cut down version of another language that I'm working on called Copper. So we're using a lot of metallic names and themes, and so I'm providing a grammar here that is not based on XML or JSON or any of those. Just want to make it sure that we have a consistent means with all of our configuration tools of Iron that they'll be using a common or very similar format that's easy to understand and follow. And that's why we've put this together here. So anyway, some of the things, just a quick description of the key map. We've got modifiers. So this allows equivalency. This is like setting up the shift in this key map here to mean anything that, the left shift and the right shift become just the shift key. Same with the control and the alt keys. Now this functionality is not actually working, but the left and right, the detection for control and alt keys and the arrow key is in place. So if I do a control alt right left arrow, you can see that the highlighting is moving from one pane to another. Okay, I can also use control alt P just to move around. I've got another key mapping on top of this one that I just use F2. That's my personal thing. And here are the layouts. So if I do Control Alt, if I type Control Alt F1, we've just got a single pane. And so we're binding combos, a Control key, an Alt key, and the F1 key. And then we're calling into the pane system. We're doing a layout. We're setting the layout in single pane mode. If I hit type Control Alt F2, there's two panes side by side. And we can grab this file tab, drag it over here, and see the same file, different parts of the same file. Here on the left side, you can see I've got a section here called punctuation, and it's all the punctuation that's currently being used. And then there's also all the alpha characters, and then I think I had digits is up here somewhere too. There they are. So digits are around. And you might think it's kind of funny to map, the capital A to, caps lock A, or, map every individual one and have it in the key binding. Well, it is important, by the way, and I'm kind of getting long-winded on this little bit of detail. It's kind of helping me remember all the ins and outs of dealing with panes and key maps and whatnot. So when there are foreign keyboards and combinations, characters that I don't have on my English or American keyboard can be put into the key mapping. So if you're working with a French keyboard or a German keyboard, you can put in those characters and they can get mapped just the same as if they were straight ASCII or off a QWERTY keyboard. This allows you to do kind of interesting things where you can actually redefine the meaning of different different keys. So if I were to type a control or a capital A, I could have it replaced with the word dog. I don't know if I can do that right here. Let me see. So that compiles. And let's just see if I hit an A. What does it do now? Yeah, so that's not working. Oh, let me actually run the development build. Okay, so iron is starting up in a development build. And you can see the little D here. And I'm going to, so I mean, I use, for, if it's not obvious yet, I use iron to develop iron. I don't use any other text editor now, just on occasion. I've given up on Visual Studio. You know, it's been the workhorse forever. It's quite the gorilla. I just use it now for debugging. Everything I do is inside of iron. So anyway, here's the development build, and you can see that, you know, I'm just gonna, so you can tell the difference. I've got very large text and a kind of a white background. And let's just see if I hit an A, caps A, so you can see where it comes up dog. Here, let's undo that. So now I'm just typing a capital A, Shift A, and the word dog comes up. So you can see it's pretty capable. I don't know why you would want to change that. But if you want shortcuts that are tied to some combination, like Control Alt whatever, figure it out, you can use substitutions and such. So we'll recompile this keymap. I just hit F7 to recompile. There it goes, no warnings or errors. And then if I type a caps A, let's just do it right here. There's the word cat. And if I compile that, that is a build error. Where are my warnings here? Trying to remember how I, like I said, I haven't played with a great deal of this key mapping and panes in quite a while. Been working on other things. So let me undo cat. We'll put capital. Now, how do I get a capital A back in there? It's a really good question. We'll just use the undo. Oh, dog will work. We can compile that. I'm gonna do it the easy way. We'll come over here. And oh, that's kind of funny. So I'm just gonna capture an A. And run over here, and we'll just place it back in here. I've also been using a different keyboard, so there we go. And we'll compile that. No warnings. All right. And just to make sure, Shift A is a Shift A. So I'll close that. We can undo all the dogs. And I'm hoping the audio is coming across okay. So I've been spent a good deal of this day just trying to set up for streaming because it's been quite a while. Okay, we'll exit out of here. We're not going to save that. And discard your changes. Yes. Okay, so anyway, got just a little bit sidetracked there. So the other configurations, we got 3 panes, 4 panes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of move the key mappings for these configurations into a second keymap file. And the keymap file is my development keymap. So these are all the test macros and commands I have set up. So for example, Control Shift F is this thing here, and that's just dealing with some 3D stuff. Some examples, so reimagined workspace. Control Shift Alt N. Where's my fling? We call these flings, by the way. So anyway, there are two keyboards, keymap files, and the one on the right is kind of Iron's default, and there's an order of precedence. So once we get it out there, a user can have different keyboard keymaps set up. Iron will come with one, and we'll set up some emulations that are similar to Notepad and Visual Studio and Sublime Text, just to make it easier for folks to kind of transition over. However, not everything will come over exactly because our functionality is different than those other tools, those other editors. But everybody, programmers, and we do encourage it that folks, customize their environment and get their primary tool, their text editor, to feel like a glove. And that's why we've kind of spent some time putting together, an easy way to set up key mappings and change them and to customize them. And part of that is to build, put in the ability that you can assign different key mappings per project, per session, per language, and right now it's not entirely implemented. That's quite a bit about this. The beta, it's in a very prototype stage. But I do need development mappings that don't belong over here on the right side, the default mapping. So I put them over here, and that's what, again, kind of long-winded. I'm just going to move things out of the default here on the right. Search for pane. Here we go. So not all of these configurations are going to scoot over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a copy of the whole section, the whole key map, and I'm just going to drop it over here. And that was just me checking out a piece of software, that little dialog. And since I'm not going to change these in my development key map on the left side here, I'm just going to take what happens on the right side. So the order of precedence, by the way, is it comes, the first key map that matches is what's actually executed. So the order of precedence is what is my personal setup for key maps, and that's this one here on the left, the development. What's the language I'm working in? I don't have the order correct, and it's not all implemented. What project am I on? What session is this? Because you can have different name sessions. And then the bottom is the default, so it's kind of the catch-all. So it's easy to redefine what Control Alt F1 might be, and we would do that over here in the development pane and not change the defaults necessarily over here. So anyway, the things that don't belong in the default have to do with the debug. So we can change this one to, we're just going to yank that out. So if I can show you what the configurations, this one's going to go away because this has the debug pane. Come back here. So we're going to take out the 2/3, and then the double vert debug project. These are terrible names. This green pane here, which is Iron's equivalent of a make file. Okay, so we're going to take that one out as well. Go back to 2-pane, and that one's going to go away. So these defaults here, and can go away. I'm going to rename this to be iron dev, just so that there's no confusion here. We'll save these two, and then I'm going to start up the development build. And wow, I can tell you when I'm streaming, things tend to slow down quite a bit. Let's close this one. Yeah, we'll save that. And I'm going to put this in a similar two-pane configuration, and we'll open iron dev.keymap. Shrink down the font a bit so we can see what we're doing. And we had, oops, the font didn't resize the window correctly. So I'm going to look for dev pane. There it is. That's what we just put in. And then over on this side, I'm going to open up iron keymap. And I'm going to look for pane. There it is. Okay, so there's the two files. And on loading, they actually got recompiled, but we'll go ahead and recompile them here to make sure that there are no errors. Okay. And just to give you an example, I'm going to take a copy of this line here. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put it over here in my development pane just to give you an example. So I got Control-Alt F1, pane layout, and right now it's being set to single. Let's do a quad. Is there a quad debug? Quad vertical. There we go. So now I'm going to compile the key map. It compiles all the key maps. And then, so now, Control-Shift, Control-Alt F1 should give me a quad screen vertical. Right on. And it ignored, that's kind of hard to see, and it ignored this mapping over here. So, as you can see, so we disabled that. And I'm going to put this one back to where it was. And I'm just going to take it out and recompile. Okay, so that's the bulk of turning off the panes. Is I'm just moving them out of the default key map and keeping them in my development key map. Just to further interest, I'm going to point this out. You know, if there's a whole sections of key maps that you want to turn on and off, you can just set these to false, and then they're no longer valid, and then recompile. Well, that's curious. Something fell down. I'm going to leave these enabled for now. And we'll quit that. And I'm going to go back to my agenda here just to see what we're going to talk about. Oh, so so now we don't have any mappings in with the development build. Doesn't have the mappings for those particular pane configurations. I might go through and later on add some other ones. We just have the quad and triple and double and single. And like I said, I kind of like the 2/3 one, but we need to take out the debug pane. And it would be nice that if I offered or can get in there, pane configurations that have at least the little status pane here. For beginning users, the status pane probably isn't gonna be worthwhile. So we'll see where we are. We'll see what happens if I'm gonna leave that status pane in or not for the beta release. Like I said, we're just trying to simplify the beta, and we want to get it out there to folks so they can you know, just kind of run it through its paces and get a taste of it and give us some feedback. Let us know if the editor itself works and that it's going to be inspiring, we hope, that the graphics work. And if you haven't noticed up to this point, Iron, let me open up a command file here, just one of the source files. And if you haven't noticed just yet, Iron is a virtual space editor. So you can come out here and just start typing away. And you can cut and paste, and even though the lines end over here, people often ask for a virtual space editor, and that's pretty much what I grew up with. Back in college we used Turbo Pascal and then the Brief editor, and I think Slick Edit in its early days. So, oops, I don't know, can you still hear me? My headset is dropped off. Okay, now it's back. At least I think it is. Okay, I gotta do a test here. Hang on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's working. Okay. Sorry about that. Just making sure. I've had technical difficulties all day long. So I was talking about the multi-pane editing. So we're hoping to get the beta out soon, so folks can come out and play with that and try out the multi-select and just see how well the editor works and try to get comments and feedback on the features and hopefully get some new ideas. And for those of us who are do join and find Iron interesting, we really do want your feedback, because we're trying to develop a tool that works for programmers, and not only to be inspiring. We're hoping that folks can become inspired with a different look and feel for a text editor. Me personally, after so many years of programming and staring at the same screen, it's kind of dull when it's lifeless. And having been a video game developer, it's like, well, let's just make this a little more interesting and fun. And underneath, the idea too is that there'll be some performance. And just proficiency tools that I personally don't find in other tools, and so we're very anxious for people's input, and we'll see what we can get in there. Let me go back to my agenda, see where we were at. Whoops. Okay. So anyway, we talked a bunch about the key map. Kind of got off topic a little bit in order of precedence. So the project pane, and so this is the build pane. You can see here we'll do a build here. Iron does have a build system, but this won't be in the beta. Like I said earlier, it's not really quite ready for prime time. Not set up in a fashion that we want to support long term, and so it probably just won't be in the key mappings. It'll be there underneath somewhere, and if people can figure it out, I'd be really surprised. But we won't be releasing this particular build system in Iron. There'll be one that is better. So I'm trying to think, what else was I going to do? I know that seemed like a very small change. I had some other ideas in mind. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at Iron Pane. And I know we're going to add a new configuration. Let's pick one and add a new configuration. I don't think I have a double that has, down here in the lower right, this status pane. So I think what I'll do is see if we can set up easily a new pane configuration. In case you're just joining us, hi Felix 22 and GJ1118. That's a great name. I really like that one. And have no idea what it means. Excuse me. Here, get some water. Um, so yeah, let's go down and see if we can add a this same configuration that we're looking at, a dual pane, and add in the status pane down here. So we're going to kind of build up on what we've already got, of course. I'm going to go back to my preferred configuration, and I'm going to look for iron pane types. And I know there's an enum up here with all the different configurations that are offered at the moment. Excuse me again. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want something that's similar to a double vertical pane with the debug, and we're going to replace that with the status. So I'm going to do this. We'll add in a new type, status, and we'll make this one status. And take out the debug. Yeah, let's see. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, it's I haven't streamed for quite a while, and it is kind of difficult to narrate and work and think, excuse me, all at the same time. And so I'm kind of taking pauses, and I know it's not smooth, and I haven't really figured out where everything's located in the code base. So it's, you know, so I'm going to search around a little bit. So anyway, so we've added a new enumeration type. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for cases of similar. Um, I can hear my headset coming in and out, so I'm hoping the audio is still working. Looks like it. So I'm going to do a find in files here. Now this is command pane. And I haven't described a great deal of this. Your initials and date of birth. I get it. That's pretty funny. So find in files, FIF, in the command palette here. We'll search for all instances of this string. And we can see here that there are 6 matches across 3 files. I searched 162 files. These are all the slang source modules. And kind of sliding down here. And what you can see here is I'm moving from one instance, and the pane on the left here is kind of tethered to our iron results. So we scroll down, changes file. We can see the change we just made, this one here. And we can see down here in pane utils, we'll be coming here for the different pane layouts. Oh yes, I recall this now. These are tedious. I can tell you they're tedious. That's pretty funny. So anyway, let's take a look at it. Check to see if the pane needs repositioning. And what is going on here? Oh, right. Like I said, not a lot of preparation for this particular stream. Excellent. Okay. So tell you what, I'm going to get, since I changed iron pane utils where we changed the enumeration type and we added a new configuration is going to kind of cause recompiling. So I'm going to get that going in the background. We'll just let that run. It doesn't take very long. It'll come tell us when we're done, when it's done. And then I'm going to go to the keymap file. And let's just go ahead and put it in the full one. So we're going to go, I don't know, let's just say, let's just add shift for now and we'll see what works. Double vert debug. So when everything's working, this mapping should, status, should work. Right now, if we compile it, you can see that
it can only be
the item in this pane cannot be built. Oh. Oh, we're not in the, let me save this. Oh, this file is being used by the compiling system, so overwrite this on disk. No, we'll let that go. I'm just going to save the one file. I'll start up the, so now it finished. Okay. So if I go over to the development build, and we look for, here it is. It's over here on the right. You can see this is what we added. Control-Alt-Shift-F2. Can there be 5 or 6 finger combos that are just incredibly difficult? So if I compile this here, it's now valid. Where before, if it's misspelled, it's not going to be happy with that. So build warning. And this fling thing is kind of off screen. Again, things are under development. Not very well centered, but we will get to it eventually. But you can see that there's compiling going on as I type, and you can see the syntax stuff going on. And really just when I say I'm building the keyboard, all I'm doing is it's already built in the background. I just have to commit to it. But anyway, our new enumeration value is present, and it's mapped to a Control-Alt-Shift-F2. And if I were to use it now, I think Iron would probably belly up. Let's try. That happens all day long. So Control-Alt-Shift-F2. Yeah, it just wasn't happy with that. So let's go back to another configuration, see if that works. See if I can come back. No, I think she's quite nuked. That's a good question. Well, let's just see what happened. Gonna bring up the big gorilla Visual Studio. Hang on, it's starting up. And I imagine I got in some kind of a locked up situation. Iron is pretty heavily threaded, and there's a lot of stuff. I didn't expect that to work, but I'm just curious what's going on. So let's attach to the debug process. Oh, here it is. And we'll break. You can see there's a bunch of threads running. Who corked? No, the main thread's still going fine. These are, scoop this over. So worker threads, here we go. Everybody's sitting around doing nothing. That's interesting. All right, here's our problem. I can see our debug is stalled. And I think this might be our keyboard thread is also stalled. They're waiting on each other for some reason. Well, that's not a very good semaphore action. That's not what we want. Well, that's curious. Let it run a little more. See where they stop this time. Are they really in the same place? I'm not going to go into this. I was just curious where it was. What will happen is some of these, the debug is trying to output to what I suspect is happening is there's an error going on, and I'm trying to get information out, and it's going to put it not just in the debug file that Iron creates when it runs, that it's also trying to put it to the status window, which we're trying to add. And since there's no status window present, it's just kind of punting. Okay, so we'll just terminate that and we'll move on. So I'm not surprised it didn't work, but I was just curious. We definitely know that the keymap is set up and running properly. Iron is just confused about what to do about it. So let's close this one. Don't think we need that one. And we're here. All right. And see, here it is. It's probably issuing a warning saying, I don't know what that pane layout is, and just repeating that over and over and over. And it's trying to put it to the status pane. The status pane is saying, I'm not even here. And it's probably also issuing a warning saying, I'm not here. Just gets stuck in a round robin. So we're going to add our status here. And just one quick compile. All right. If you watch other streams as you go along, you'll see that I do things in very, very tiny steps. Change a lot of files all at once and then trying to figure out why it's broken or whether things are going to work. It's not my particular style. Screen. Oop, my headset kicked out again. There's our initial change, and this is what we need to do here. Is we're going to take the debug, make a copy of this. That's just checking out that dialog there. Sorry, I go really quick over that dialog. As my business partner Les says, what is that? And I don't take the time to explain it. It's just software being checked out of Perforce. Okay, so we're going to change this and make this status. And pane ID, iron pane ID, find at 0, so it's going to double vert. Okay, see, this is kind of arduous. Very manual. Pane ID 1. Oh, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Is we're going to get rid of the debug pane. And I just have to remember what order these particular elements are in. So let's tell you what. Let's set a bookmark. We'll come back here. And then I'm going to search for iron pane viewport interp. And there it is. Okay, so the order percent left, percent top. Yeah, left, top, right, bottom. That's a typical pattern that I use. And what this routine is doing is this is what sets the extents of the pane. So 0 will be left, 0% on the left would be all the way to the left. 50% left would be in the middle of the screen. 75% would put the left edge of the pane, 3/4 of the way to the right. And then all this setting up is it's changing the sizes and it's scheduling with this interpolation. It's an interpolation set where it's here comes the new sizes, and they will be interpolated over time, and that's what allows the smooth changing of the window configuration. So that's all done by this particular function here. You can see things are changing, and they're scheduled. And since iron is animated, this is what schedules the animation and the change in the size and location of the panes. So here we are, left, top, right, bottom. That's what I was looking for. Let's go back to our bookmark. Okay. So I'm going to remove the debug pane, change. And I recall up here what's going on is there's this loop that says, okay, put everybody at basically the default and turn them all off. And then you go in and based on what pane configuration, what the layout is, turn them back on and position them, and then schedule their being interpolated into a new location. That was just a build that completed that I accidentally started. Okay, so I need to let's just compile this. since I just did, um, and see what this looks like. So what I'm pretty certain we'll wind up with is we'll have two vertical panes. We just deleted the debug pane, so there'll be a gap here, and we'll have the status pane down here. So let's just execute that. And our mapping was Control Shift Alt F1 K P all at the same time. Where did that go? Oh, that's right. We managed to crash it. And so let's look for pane again. There it is. This is the one that we're executing here. Control Shift Alt F2. Okay, so it's working as planned. So we just removed the debug and the status pane is there. Let's go back to, we can reduce the font size and see more of the status. So it found pane. Can see Lexing happens in the background. This is an old Lexer that's still running, working on new stuff. So anyway, what I think we'll do is we'll extend the status pane upward and drop this pane down to meet it, and fill in this gap. We'll give a few more lines here. You know, the typical character, you know, this is, I believe, about a 10-point font size. And I'm trying to keep it larger for you guys so it's easier to see, but as you can see, the status kind of rolls off the end of the page, or it's just not enough information coming out. And I can tell I haven't streamed for a while because I'm rambling quite a bit. Okay. So here we've got pane 0. That's the one on the left. Pane 1 on the right. We want to bring it down further. Was that what I was saying? Yes, we are bringing it left top, right bottom. So the top of the status pane is 1% left top. I know these are just terrible. Tell you what, let's bring this up to, it's probably just going to be 2.5. Let's compile that up. Okay, I'll run it here. And I think I have to move away and come back. So Control Alt Shift F2. There we go. So you can see I extended up to, I guess, 25% from the bottom. That whole scheme is, I'm not, you know, it's done quite a long time ago. I'm wondering why I use that. Well, that's pretty funny. Now remember, when you write code, for those who are new and have a poor memory like me, you're writing for your future self, as my good friend Conan would say. I'm writing for my future self. And it's so true. It's like, I don't remember exactly what all this was now that it's, you know, maybe a year later. So anyway, we scooted that up, and I think that's too big. More useful is to have acreage. You know, you want some status to come up, but most of the time you can ignore it. So let's just move that further down the page. That's pretty funny. So left top, right bottom, 25% up from the bottom is what that's saying. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works. So let's just run that down to 2. Run this one down to 2. I'm just really curious. Pretty sure that's the way it's going to work. Nope, that can't be right. Nope, that's not right. That's not right. Okay. Let's see, what is it? For some reason, that just didn't seem like that was supposed to work. Let's see. Let's make it extreme. Let's try 3. I'm just curious. Oh, I've changed the wrong configuration. That's why. I want it to be up here. Yeah, it's kind of near the. Let's just go to 1.5, and we'll change this one to 1.5. And let's see what we got now. And let's see, we're still streaming. Looks like. I keep hearing my headset turn on and off, so I'm just kind of curious what exactly is happening when it's doing that. Okay, so I need to scoot away, and then we'll come back. So there's a few more lines. Let's just say that's good enough for now. Okay. So that is basically kind of a look at slang, key maps, panes, seeing iron in action. Coming up, hopefully in the next month, what I'll be doing is preparing iron for a beta test, and hoping that you guys and other folks will show up in at our website and take a look at it. There's nothing there yet to download. And give us some feedback on what you think. Feel free to type anything at the moment. I think I'm going to come to a conclusion here shortly. Maybe I'll just run through and show you a couple of other things that are available here in iron, and some of them are kind of frivolous. So I'm going to turn on, it's really a magnifying glass. Originally it was going to be a sniper scope. I mean, how many people make a text editor that has a sniper scope in it? But I turned it into something a little more useful for those of us who are aging and things get hard to see. Let's see. Oh, and this can change sizes and shapes. Let's do that just for the fun of it. I'm going to have to, let me go back to something familiar, and I'm going to shrink down the text size, and I'm going to search for, let's do this, let's just search for sniper toggle. That'll find it for us. I'm just looking for what are the other, move it out of the way. Sniper shape string, equilateral. What are the choices? Ah, right. Okay, so let's see if this works. Sniper shape string. You can see our command palette just isn't very strong yet. That's okay. We're in an early stage. I'm not too put off by it. Let's see. There's round. Yay. What's another shape we have? Hexagon. So there's hexagon. I find one that's, let's see what's useful here. Oh, the rectangle. That's what I wanted to show you. So here's a rectangle, and I think we can change the width of these things. Sniper width. Let's do that. It looks like its default is 300, so let's do sniper width equals 600. What do we get?
It is dangerous to remain here.
Doesn't match.
You must leave
Oh, it's a
within
real.
2 days.
There we go. Let's make it 800. There we go. So that's like some kind of funky opera glasses. And then what I'm going to do is I can change the tracking. Sniper track. It's probably another string. String equals sniper. Oh, it's probably just keyboard. Keyboard caret. There it is. Did I like that one? sure I liked that one. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Oh, it did it. Yeah. 2 underscores there. That's not right. Yeah, there we go. So now it's following the caret. Our magnifying glass is following the caret off in virtual space. And I think we can change the magnification. Let's do that just for the fun of it again. Here we go, sniper mag. Okay, so sniper mag equals 3.0. Yeah. Let's change it to 5. 10. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Or we can change it back to something that's kind of funny. So anyway, I don't know if these things are useful. Some of it's just for kicks, but you know, being able to have a magnifying glass, we can see the utility of it if, for example, you know, these lines that I'm looking at, they're the ones that are most important, and it'd be nice if they were larger in the surrounding context, the surrounding lines. You know, it's handy for those of us who are aging. I hate to say it, to see things bigger, but it allows you as a programmer. The thinking goes is that you can see more context and more information around the source code that you're changing at the particular time, but the lines that you're working on would be magnified. I don't know if that's useful or not. It might be to somebody. To me, it just kind of cracks me up that there's a magnifying glass at all. Sniper toggle. We'll turn this off. I don't know why that cracks me up. It still does. You know, and then, there's other things, you know, the snowblower. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the snow and call it a day and let you know how much I appreciate you guys, you know, having taken a look. There'll be more streaming going on. Hopefully I'll get a little bit better at all of this. And let's see, I'm just kind of practicing here. And what's going to go on in the next month as we get ready for our beta is frankly, just turning off more things. We're fixing our menu system. We're kind of getting the rudimentary, and that's partly based on what I showed you earlier. These 3D elements. Let's see, is this working? Yeah. So our menu is based on some of this 3D stuff, and we'll see what we can do. We know long term we'll probably get into more like a video game front end for the menu system, just to give it a little pizzazz, but always in mind that we want to keep people inspired and proficient as programmers, and come up with the right combination of tools and capabilities for that. I wish I could say I was going to schedule the next stream. I don't know. I'm hoping tomorrow morning, probably before most people get up, I'll do a better stream on something else. But we'll be putting together some of our tutorial and our help videos here on Live EDU. So come back and watch some of that. I'm sure it'll be funny, just from mistakes and outtakes and whatnot. So this has been kind of interesting, kind of fun, and I apologize if it's been a little bit rambling. So Felix22, Tony Code, all those others that did manage to join us, I appreciate you finding us. Please share us with somebody else. The more people that can give us feedback and input on Iron, and we'll make it a better tool in the long run. So since it's evening here and I happen to be in Tennessee, I just want to wish you all a good evening, and thanks again for visiting us. You can look at us. You can find us over at darkviking.com. We're still putting our website together, so you'll see it kind of changing around with by the hour. Oh, might as well turn on while we're here and And before I exit, let's turn on the Christmas Easter egg. Just silliness. Anyway, thank you much. Good night.